Hello beautiful people, my name is Kate. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have decided to talk about the 5 reasons that I am trash for Disney. This idea kind of came to me because Forky has fastly become one of my all-time favorite Disney characters. Character is so relatable and I just very much enjoy Forky. I'm even wearing the shirt that says I'm trash, which I felt, perfectly encompassed the idea of this video. And if you watch till the very end, I have an upcoming trip announcement. So I will leave a timestamp down below if that's all you care about, and that's perfectly fine. And also, I dyed my hair recently, so no more ginger. Back to my ashy brown roots, and I'm actually really pleased with it. I wasn't sure how it was gonna turn out, and 3 hours in the salon was a long time, but I'm glad I made the change. I needed it. I wanted something fresh and new and kind of spicy, so I mixed it up. I'll probably go back to the red at some point, but for now, I'm really loving this new style, especially for fall. It just felt like a nice change for the change with the seasons. Okay, so now we're actually getting into the meat of the video, as Hannah Louise Posto, one of my favorite beauty influencers, would say. And starting at number 5, I have to say I am trash for Disney because it feels like home to me. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but there's something about Disney that is so familiar and welcoming and calming. It just feels like that cozy sweater you can wrap yourself in. And I've mentioned this in other videos, but I worked at Walt Disney World and Entertainment for 4.5 years. So for me, it brings back a lot of those wonderful memories. And each park has certain moments and places that will always be special to my heart, and I have a lot of friends and family that still live down there, so getting to visit them is like having mini reunions, and it's really wonderful to have that opportunity. And being part of Vacation Club, there's also the comfort of when you check into the hotel, they tell you welcome home, and really that is how it feels to me. Disney genuinely feels like my other home. The only other place in the world besides Pittsburgh, which is where I was born and raised, that feels like that for me is Edinburgh, Scotland. And I lived there for a while, and I got to perform at the Fringe Festival doing theater with a really wonderful theater company based out of LA. And I just instantly jived with the people, with the vibes there, and for me, Disney is the same, and it feels like a second home for me. Number 4 is souvenirs. I am definitely trash for Disney souvenirs. And I think if you're watching my videos, you are too, since most of my videos are Disney unboxings. I mean, I'm wearing these 3 Caballero ears right now. I have my Forky shirt on. I am constantly unboxing Bibbidi Bobbidi boxes. It is just something that is so wonderful. I love the Disney ears, I love the plushies. I have more Disney mugs than I know what to do with, but that's okay because I still want to keep collecting them, even though it's impossible for me to use all of them. It genuinely is. Like, even by the time my dishwasher is completely full, I still have at least 10 mugs sitting around. So I try to rotate through them so they all get a little bit of love. But there's always that those one or two mugs that you gravitate towards the most. For me, it's a giant Baymax mug because it holds the most amount of caffeine. I also adore Baymax and find him to be one of the best characters. But you know what I mean? The cup that holds the most caffeine is really the only one I want in my life in the morning. But just Disney souvenirs are so wonderful. I have so many shirts, as I mentioned, the ears, and gosh, I have tons of Disney socks. Like, the list goes on and on. Magnets. The only souvenir I'm really not Disney trash for is pins. Have never been an avid pin collector. In fact, the only pins I really own are those of characters that I was friends with when I worked at Disney. And then I have a very, very, very small collection of Disney cat pins. And that's just because Disney cats are some of my all-time favorite characters in the Disney movies, and they're just so adorable. But I don't go out of my way to find these pins, so I don't really collect them. But other than that, if it is a Disney souvenir, I want it. I am a collector and I want it, and I'm running out of space in my house, but that's okay. I don't care. All right, number 3. The number 3 reason that I am trash for Disney is the rides. Even though the amusement park by my house, Kennywood, which is a wonderful ride, has lots of old-fashioned roller coasters, great park, they have some rides that are very similar to those at Disney. But the theming of the rides that Disney has is unparalleled. Nowhere else has that attention to detail. Even Universal, while they try, and I would say with Harry Potter Land, they've been the most successful with it, but there's just everything from the scents to just certain sounds that you hear in the rides. For me right now, Pirates of the Caribbean is popping in my head because the smell of the water is so iconic, and you hear like the chains moving around like that would be on the ship, and they have the shanties playing while you're waiting in line, and it is just themed to perfection. It really and truly is. And Disney's the only place where you can get stuff like that. And every park has at least a minimum of 2 rides for me that are must-dos anytime I set foot in the park. And there are not a lot of places where I can say that is the case. So to have so many iconic rides, to have them all themed so extremely well, is genuinely extraordinary, and it is something that makes Disney stand out and is part of the reason I love the Disney rides as much as I do. Number 2, I think comes as no shock to almost anyone who's ever been to Disney, but I am trash for Disney food. In fact, my suitcase genuinely ends up being filled with more food than actual souvenirs or clothes on the way home. I know that's terrible, but I always bring back a big bag of the churro popcorn. I always bring back Rice Krispie treats, and the caramel place in Germany, I always get, it's this gorgeous, like, it's about this big. It's a shortbread cookie covered in a really thick layer of caramel, and it has pecans on top. Oh my gosh, I always get that on the very last day of my trip, and then I bring it home, and when I get home I stick it in the freezer so everything can kind of re-thaw, and I cut it in half, sometimes quarter pieces, depends on how big my sweet tooth is that day, and then I eat it for breakfast as kind of a way to prolong my vacation and still be like, oh, it was Disney food so calories don't count, kind of thing, which is a lie. But we can tell each other that, and I mean, that's only a small portion of what I bring home. When I'm at the parks, there's Dole Whip, there's Casey's hot dogs, there's all the really delicious desserts at Kringle Bakery in Norway. I mean, I could just go on and on about the snacks, the Mickey ice cream bars, and a lot of the themed ones that they've had lately. I love that key lime pie on a stick. That is at Hollywood Studios right now for Frozone. My goodness, there's just so many, and they all keep popping in my head, and especially the fact that Disney has specialty foods when you go down for Food and Wine Festival and Flower and Garden, and then if you do the different parties late at night, you have different treats you can get at Mickey's Not So Scary and Very Merry Christmas parties. It's just so special, and how they theme. I was so excited when I saw the menus at Disneyland for all the Haunted Mansion 50th, and I am hoping and praying that Disney World gets even a 1/10 of that when it's our 50th for Haunted Mansion, so fingers crossed, because it all looked so unbelievably delicious. Okay, so last on my list, and number 1, is that Disney is the place I can be most myself. I think any adult that loves Disney knows that it's something that sometimes you'll get made fun of for, or people just don't understand why do you love Disney so much? I don't get it. I don't understand. Isn't that for kids? All this stuff. And to me, that is nonsense. Any place where I can be as happy and act like a 5-year-old, but I can also be an adult and have a gorgeous meal at Victoria and Albert's. You know, there's the spectrum. I see that castle and I get giddy, I start jumping up and down, I start like running towards it. It's just incredible. And when my boyfriend and I recently went on our 8-day trip to Disney at the end of June, he was so shocked to see the way I interacted with the characters. He said he's never seen my face light up that way. He's never seen me so genuinely excited and thrilled about something so simple. But meeting the characters, especially Merida, who at the time was my hair twin, but now not so much, the way we interacted with her, he said he wanted to wait in line with me to meet characters, not so he could meet them, but because he loved seeing how my face lit up, how I interacted with them. And he said, like, babe, it's really, truly you in those moments. And he's right. Any place where you can truly 100% be yourself without judgment is the type of place I want to be. So those were my top 5 ways that I am completely trash for Disney, and there is no shame in my game about any of that. So now, what some of you may have skipped ahead to, but hopefully not, is my Disney trip announcement. So I will be in Walt Disney World from September 9th to September 12th. The night of September 9th, I will be doing the Animal Kingdom late night event because I don't get into like 4 and I didn't want to waste a park day on only a couple of hours, even though I'm an annual pass holder and it doesn't really matter. To me, I just really wanted to make sure I was hitting all the rides and doing all the things that I wanted to do on this trip. So I will be doing that, and then the next day, I'll be at Hollywood Studios and then most likely go over to Epcot in the evening because it is Food and Wine and there's so many tasty treats I want to sample on my trip. But I'll be at Hollywood Studios in the morning and I booked an appointment to build a lightsaber, and oh my gosh, I could not be more excited. I've already started looking into the different metals you can pick. I know I want a purple kyber crystal because I consider myself to be a perfect balance of the light and the dark side. Some people that know me may disagree, may feel one way or another, but that's fine. I consider myself to be the balance between the force, so I really want a purple one. And I'm excited for when I get back so I can show you guys what it looks like and talk a little bit about the process, even though there's tons of videos on making them already, just to get maybe a different perspective. Or I'm going by myself on this trip, so it's a solo trip. So what is it like to build a lightsaber by yourself? Because every other video I've seen, someone else is filming while the other person builds the lightsaber. So I'm not going to be able to film it, but I can definitely talk about that experience with you if it is something everyone would be interested in, so let me know down below. Then the next day on September 11th, I will be at Magic Kingdom in the morning, and then I'm probably going to go over to Epcot again for dinner in the evening. And then the 12th is my last day there, so I will be at Epcot for most of the day since my flight doesn't leave till late. And if any of you are going to be down at Disney during this time, please let me know. Maybe we can figure out a time to come meet up, say hi. Like I said, I'll be by myself, so I'm happy to welcome anyone that would like to either ride a ride with me or just talk or share some tasty treats at Disney. So let me know down below if you're gonna be there, and I would love to meet up. Otherwise, that's it for my video today. I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon. Most likely next week when my Bibbidi Bobbidi boxes arrives. All right, bye.